Hello folks, welcome back to another video. Now, I've not mentioned this much on the channel, but over the Euros, I'm going to be doing a lot more football-based content, and we're going to start with the England squad. Of course, we're going to cover the Euros in depth, as well as covering a lot of what England are up to during the Euros, and then moving forward into the Premier League and the league season next season, there'll be a lot more football content by me on the channel. Football Manager will remain, for those of you that are here and are regular viewers of that, but we're going to be doing a little bit of this. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you are too. If you're excited about the more football content coming on the channel, then please do leave a like on it. And yeah, let's get in to today's video, which is going to come in three parts. So part one is going to be me talking you through what my England squad would be. Part two is going to be talking about the fact that Gareth selected a 33. And then part three is going to be my instant reaction to the team as it's announced. Now, I'm recording this the day before he announces his official 26-man squad, of course, being allowed 3 more players than a normal international tournament. And let's then go through, as you can see behind me, what I think should be done. So I always think there's two ways to look at these types of things, right? You either go for what you think or what you think is best for the team, because sometimes that doesn't like merge up, right? Or what you think is best for Gareth. So what you can see on screen here, if you take a look at it, then you can see we've got my goalkeeper selected, as well as just a regular sort of 4-2-3-1 system. And what's weird about this, obviously, I picked this before the 33-man squad was announced. I didn't realize he'd be doing that. So what you can see now instead are 33 names. If you've got any issues with the positions, guess over yourself. And obviously we are stacked in certain areas. Right back is going to be a point of contention. At this point, you watching this video, you will know what has happened. You will know the squad. I'm waiting until the squad is officially announced as a 26. I was going to do this video last week. Thanks a lot, Gareth. But you'll know what the squad is already. So some of the things I'm about to say, you'll enjoy these, and I will look back and almost react to this and realize how silly I sound. So the 3 goalkeepers I would take, of course, Nick Pope was originally in this, but he's been taken out of the squad now through injuries. Really disappointing for him. He arguably could have started. I think him and Pickford were probably fighting for it. Whether Pickford's now the obvious first choice, I still think him and Henderson are pretty similar in what they offer as goalkeepers, so it's going to be interesting. I will talk through my preferred 11 before opening group games. So Pickford, Johnston, Henderson for me. A lot of talk that Ramsdale might get in there. I don't personally think he will. You've already noticed this section here, the rumour section. This is rumoured, so if this may well be what is actually happening. These players may well have missed out, so of course we'll get to that in just a moment. Walker, Trent, Reece James would be my right backs. We'll talk through that in a minute. Stones, Cody, Maguire, Mings, Shaw, Chilwell, Saka, Henderson and Rice on one side, Bellingham and Ward-Prowse on the other, with Sterling, Sancho, Foden, Mount, Rashford, Grealish, Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Mason Greenwood. I guess some of the contentious ones there, maybe Bellingham being such a figurehead in a side that I would pick, and Mason Greenwood is a player I would absolutely take. That would mean then that Ramsdale, Trippier, Godfrey, White, Phillips, Lingard and Ollie Watkins would miss out. I put a few other players on there that I thought would be in contention and seemingly haven't been. Danny Ings is one of those. So unfortunate for Ings that last year he would have absolutely been in the squad. This year he's just missed out. A lot of talk over Tomori, the fact that Tomori could have gone and hasn't really been considered. I don't know how much Gareth Southgate's been to Milan. I can assume not that much, but they're televised games, Gareth. I don't know. Tomori is someone that I think should have been considered a little more. Eric Dyer's not in the squad. Okay, and Dele Alli is the big one, right? You can see a list of names I've put on the far right side there. These are players that were called up to that magnificent summer we had when we were defeated by Croatia, that powerhouse of football. Botland, Rose, Cahill, Trippier will just about be in there. There was question marks whether he would be, but if he's not in my squad, then he wouldn't have been, if that makes sense. You get it? Phil Jones, Fabian Delph, Ashley Young's in there as well. We've got Eric Dyer, Jesse Lingard, Dele Alli, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Jamie Vardy and Danny Welbeck. They're players that are going to miss out, that were so sort of not obviously going to be picked. But I don't know. I don't think people expected the squad to change quite this much. Of course, Trippier though is one of those question marks. And according to the rumours, Trippier will be in there again. Clearly, his set pieces. That's what has attracted Gareth Southgate, apparently. So I suspect when I do my 11, I will talk more about why the players that I would have in my starting 11 would be in my starting 11. I think squads are... This is a funny thing to say in a squad video. I think squads are a little bit overrated when it comes to these types of videos. I think people put too much weight in the squad. If you look at an international tournament, an international campaign, very rarely do all of the players feature. Very rarely do like 75% of them feature. Sometimes in that third group game, you completely rotate the side, but it's pretty rare that even happens. So the players that would miss out, like, this is very strange, isn't it? Because of course, we know Ramsdale, Trippier, Godfrey, White, Phillips, Lingard and Watkins. There's a few that I should mention really. Phillips would miss out out, because if Jordan Henderson's fit, I think arguably he's the option there. I think you have sort of the more defensive-minded players in Henderson and Rice, and then on the other side you have the more creative. And with Ward-Prowse, you offer yourself so much more as well with a player like him. Sterling, Sancho, Foden, Mount, Rashford, Grealish kind of pick themselves, and the front three that I've gone with as well. I guess Saka is one of the question marks that maybe not many people would have had in their squad, and Trippier as well. Right, Trippier has played like a right midfield or right back role for Atletico Madrid, a league-winning Atletico Madrid. So any arguments you've got against the other players, that's a pretty good one for Trippier, and he's a player that Gareth Southgate likes as well. And I think that's pretty crucial in this. The rumours then of who he's dropped, well, we'll see if they're true. Like squad-wise, I don't know if he's going to play with a 3 or if he's going to play with a 4 at the back. There's not really that much indication. If this is right, then he probably isn't playing with a 3, but he might. It's at this point in the video where that's what my prediction is, and now we know this is Gareth Southgate's squad. Why? If this is true, I don't agree with this. I understand as well, by the way, nobody is making a reaction video by giving you what they thought the squad would be beforehand in the same video. So again, if that's not worth a like, I don't know what is. I'm giving you the whole package. Rather than making you watching 2 videos, you're just getting them to watch one video. I did timestamp this if you wanted to go straight to my reaction. Right, I'm locked in. I'm ready. There's been rumours, so I did last night, you've seen that little bit of footage, and now rumours of Trent Alexander-Arnold being involved in the squad, which who knows if that's going to be true or not. Of course, we'll reference back to the graphic I showed you before. I'm currently watching the live stream where they're going to announce the squad. Don't let me down, Gareth. I don't really know what I'm expecting. Do I think he'll pick the squad that I picked? No, probably not. Do I think he'll pick something similar? Yeah, I think he probably will. But I guess we're about to find out. So the one thing we do know is that Mason Greenwood won't be in the squad. He pulled out recently. He's got some underlying injury issue, so he won't be involved, which means that Ollie Watkins, well, he probably will be now. But I guess we can delete Greenwood, which is a bit brutal, doesn't it? We can delete Greenwood from these positions. He will not be involved this summer. It's difficult to get this squad wrong, really. It feels quite... I don't want to say obvious, Gareth. It feels quite obvious, Gareth. I just want to know, has he taken 4 right backs? Viewers, again, you know at this point, has he really? He won't have done, will he? So I guess at this point, I will change my squad, actually. Ollie Watkins will move into there, because now we don't think that Mason Greenwood will be selected. So I guess on the Dr. Benjy squad tick sheet, Will Ramsdale, Godfrey, White, Phillips, Trippier, and Lingard be the other players. And if they're not, who is the one he's left out? Ward-Prowse. Again, this was the rumoured list. A lot of it aligns with what I'm saying. And Watkins was on this rumoured list. This rumoured list is bollocks. We're getting rid of the rumours list. So who's going to fill these spots? That's the question. They've done it. They've done it as a video. They've done it as this is the... I can't react to... The music will be copyrighted. I can't do it to a video. But I'm sure... Right. Announce that... Give me a list, someone. Right. There it is. That is the squad. Someone took a screenshot of it. So whoever did this on Twitter, I can only thank you for it. So it's not necessarily... what I would have gone for. That is the... I guess, is that a surprise? I don't know. Trippier is in then. Players not selected that we thought wouldn't be selected. So Ramsdale, in fact, let's do some copy and pasting here. Ramsdale then not in the squad, which was suspected. White's not in the squad. Godfrey's not in the squad. James Ward-Prowse is not in the squad. Bellingham makes it. Calvin Phillips is in there. Watkins, who I made the assumption moments ago that would be in the squad. Jesse Lingard is not in the squad. Again, I didn't think he would be. I thought his form came too late and then it tailed off. So he's taking, just to get this right, he's taking four right backs. Right then. I think he's just play them all in a line, football manager style, right back, right wing, right attacking midfield. Just play all 4 of them. So the 7 he's left out then. Greenwood we kind of knew about already. Ramsdale, White, Godfrey, Ward-Prowse, Watkins, and Lingard have missed out. I don't really disagree with any of it. I think the unlucky player there is probably James Ward-Prowse. I think he is probably a man that deserved to go. If we just sort of move around some pieces there, this is very confusing, isn't it? Lingard we didn't think would be there. Trippier is there. These players though are not, and neither's Watkins either. So that's what we're left with for a 26, because we've got 26 players now. Do I think that it can win the Euros? I think that's the question, right? Is it the right selection in terms of a squad? It says to me Firstly, that we're going to play a 3 at the back system, or Carl Walker is going to be used as a centre back and will not even be played as a right back. The thing about the right backs is I feel like they all deserve to be there. Walker's won the league. Trent has been one of the best right backs this year, despite what people say. Reece James was phenomenal, got to a Champions League final, and Trippier's won the league with Atletico. It'd have been really unlucky to leave one of them out, but even when you've got such strength of depth, surely you leave one out still. As harsh as it would have been, midfield-wise, it's probably the only area where we look a little light. Of course, Henderson, there's question marks on him. Bellingham's very young, despite his quality. Like, it's a very, very brave selection. Even Declan Rice hasn't really featured at this level too much before. Phillips, of course, as well, a complete newcomer to international tournaments. This is like, there's so many unknowns with this England squad, and that is partially why it's so exciting. I feel like, I also think there's a lot of risk involved in this selection. I think if you're Gareth Southgate, this is the sort of thing where you could not be England manager in 5 weeks' time, and that's the crazy thing with this. Like, the squad selection is such an important moment for him as a manager that this could be his final squad selection, and he must. Hopefully, that pressure doesn't weigh on him, right? I'd like to think that he can take himself out of the moment and think, right, we're here to do a job, we're here to win the Euros. Can this squad do it? There are there's some good teams. I'm going to give my Euros roundup. Make sure you subscribe, because my Euros, I'm going to complete the bracket, which is a brave thing to do. We're going to do that later this week, and conclude with who I think will finish where, in England, of course, will feature in that. It's coming home. I mean, make no mistake, it's coming home. I'm just really surprised that he's taken 4 right backs. I think a lot of people are. A lot of us just expected, oh, well, he's going to have to drop one of them. It seemed inconceivable. Is he going to play Reece James in a defensive midfield role? Is he going to play him at centre-back? Is he going to play Trent Alexander-Arnold in a midfield role? To do that, having never seen it before, like, people are saying Trent could play in midfield. He's one of the best right-backs in the Premier League. I feel like changing him, moving him in there isn't necessary when you've got the quality. One of these right-backs just won't play, right? I don't know. Reece James, I think, is probably the unlucky one. Southgate likes Trippier. Trent is maybe the unlucky one. I mean, he's in there. I think he'd have got a lot of stick if he didn't take Trent. I think what he's done is taken out players that I don't think there'll be too many complaints from anybody. The interesting thing, I say interesting, right? Rashford could play up front. He's had an injury-riddled season. They really have to listen to his press conference or his interview post Europa League final. So you only have Kane and Calvert-Lewin as your attacking options. They're very similar stylistically. I think the way they're going to play is going to be their presences up front, right? Maybe Calvert-Lewin's link-up play is not quite as good. He's more likely to run in behind. And then Ollie Watkins, arguably even more unlucky to miss out when Mason Greenwood isn't available for selection. I think that's interesting. What I'll be curious now is if we get injuries, who is on the priority list for Southgate in terms of players that are going to be called up in the next however long, right? Because there will be injuries. Traditionally in England squads, between now and match day 1, they play a couple of friendlies. There will be changes, and I'm really curious to see who will be brought in. Of course, it'll depend on who's injured, but if one of the right-backs gets injured, right, as a point, and it would be so ironic now, wouldn't it, if Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example, didn't get to go to the Euros through an injury, does he then go, actually, I can afford more midfield options. I can afford a Jesse Lingard, who is a bit of a wild card pick, right, who got in there based on the form of the second half of the season. That's what's going to be really curious to me. It's a good squad. Again, I think it's probably, a lot of the decisions are probably fair. I think James Ward-Prowse for Calvin Phillips is not questionable. Phillips has been a part of a lot of squads. I just think with what Ward-Prowse offers you with set pieces, especially when Trent's not a dedicated starter, that's the bit I find quite interesting. Ward-Prowse clearly wasn't in the starting conversation, and I wonder if Trent will be. There's a few set piece takers out there, like Mason Mount's one of those as well. But yeah, very interesting squad. And yeah, do I think it can win? I guess you'll find out in the video coming up, where I go through the bracket, as I said, later this week. Let me know your thoughts on the England squad, and drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Football Manager will return again tomorrow. But yeah, there we are then, my England squad. And well, that was not my England squad. This is Gareth Southgate's. So I should probably change that, actually, shouldn't I? It's not, again, not my England squad. Just gonna write Gareth's England squad. Well done, Gareth. I don't think anyone will be that annoyed